everyone, this is Sandra at the Whispering Well. So, at the weekend on Saturday, I went into London to meet with my friend Vincent, who I've known since school, and we managed to get in touch quite a few years back now, and we've stayed in touch ever since. And as he and I were both 50 this year, we wanted particularly to meet up. I mean, we do meet up anyway when we can, but we particularly wanted to, with us both being 50, and we went and had a coffee and chat. We always end up reminiscing about school days and things, and then we went to a pizza and pasta restaurant. It's an Italian one, independent one that Vincent knows, that's really, really good, and is not silly prices, especially for London, and the food is just excellent, really, honestly, there. Of course, that meant I was off of Slimming World plan for that day, but I have gone back on it. And so while I was there, of course, I couldn't not go into the Atlantis bookshop, which is down Museum Street. If you walk straight down from Tottenham Court Road tube station, it's near the British Museum. And you know, the shop is 100 years old this year. It's just so amazing, and Aleister Crowley used to go there. He used to sit there in the shop in his full regalia and everything. But it's a family-run business, and Geraldine is the mother, and Barley is her daughter. And Geraldine was in the shop on Saturday, and she's so lovely to talk to. And one of the items that I was wanting to buy was a book on Aleister Crowley. But I said I wanted one. I didn't know where to kind of start, but I wanted to read about his life and him and stuff. And she said, well, have you got a little bit of time? And I said, well, yeah. She said, sit down in the chair there, she said, and I'll tell you all about him. Anyway, she'd got halfway through telling me bits and pieces, and actually even that little bit she told me was stuff I didn't know. And then a friend of hers came in, so I said, oh no, don't worry, I'll continue looking around the shop and it's fine. But she did say to me when I left, she said, if you want to know anything else about Crowley, she said, just ask me. She said, you can come into the shop anytime. They're so lovely, Geraldine and her daughter Barley, really lovely. And it's such a cool shop. I could spend hours in there just looking through the books and decks and things, because yes, they do have decks as well. But shock horror, I did not buy a deck. Yes, see, restraint on the deck front anyway, because I did buy other stuff. Anyway, so that's one of their bags. So that was really, really nice, and it's always like nice to see Vincent. He's a associate professor now at Greenwich University, and he lives at Greenwich. His apartment overlooks the Thames and stuff, but you know, he's never forgotten his roots, and he doesn't like sort of look down on you and think that he's like better than you. It's just always just Vincent. It's always, I just think of him as just Vincent. He's just as he always was to me. So yeah, it was really, really good. And I even met one of his friends that I think works in finance and lives on Canary Wharf, and he was really nice as well, because we were kind of at Cromwell Street in London, which is kind of near some of the gay bars and stuff. But it's really nice there, and people seem to be like really friendly. And I've met a couple of his friends before, and they're all like really lovely. But anyway, I digress. So I'd got a list of books that I wanted to get. because I get an email every Friday from Atlantis, and it always tells you about the new books and decks and things that they've got in, and there was several on there from about 2 or 3 weeks ago, different ones that I'd written down that I wanted to try and get. Anyway, so the first one is The Horned God of the Witches by Jason Mankey. This is a signed one because they did have the author in the shop, so this is signed, and he's put Hail the Horned One and signed it. So that's always cool to get a signed book. In fact, I've got 3 of them. This is the author here, Jason Mankey, and it's Llewellyn Publications. And this obviously is all about discover the history, magic and myths of the Horned One. And as you know, I work with Kanunos, so this, I thought, I've got to get this book. And it says here on the back, explore the deep spiritual roots of the Horned God and discover rituals and activities designed to help you get closer to him. Throughout history, horned deities have been honoured as gods of nature, sex, fertility, passion, sacrifice, death and rebirth. The Horned God of the Witches reveals the origins and features of their most common guises: Pan, Kanunos, Herne, Ellen of the Ways, the Green Man, and even the Devil. This is perfect for me. Whether you are interested in the Wiccan Horned God, a more contemporary composite of several deities, or in one of his many other forms, these rituals for meeting the powerful deity will help you achieve your magical goals. With hands-on techniques for divination, creating an altar, working magic, spiritual lovemaking, and receiving the gifts of the Witch Father, this book supports the transformative deepening of your relationship to the divine. And it says here that Jason Mankey is a 3rd degree Gardnerian high priest and helps run 2 witchcraft covens in the San Francisco Bay Area with his wife Ari. So that's really cool, and I'm really looking forward to reading this. I've got a few, because guys, I've managed to sort out some financial stuff, so I've been able to treat myself to a few things, but without obviously going mad. I've wanted these books for a little bit. I think I'd seen this one first, and I didn't know if they would still have it or not, so I'm really pleased to have that and looking forward to diving into that one. Then I got Britain's Ghostly Heritage, which is another signed copy. Let me take that off now. Yeah, so this is by John West, and it's been signed there, and you know me and anything ghostly or spooky, so this looked really good. Britain's Ghostly Heritage, can you imagine? Chapter 1, The Mystery of Jimmy Garlick, The Haunting of Rattlesden Rectory, Brother Ignatius, York, Britain's Most Haunted City, The Spectres of Edinburgh Castle, Welsh Phantoms, The Kersey Enigma, London's Haunted Churches, A Most Curious Haunting, Royal Ghosts, Lincoln's Haunted Heritage, Scotland's Road of Horror, Tales from a Ghost Hunter's Notebook, The Devil and Major Weir. Well, I've heard that one before, that's cool. The Ghost of St Albans, Scottish Tales of Terror, Catch Me When You Can, Robert James Lees and the Hunt for Jack the Ripper, More Tales from a Ghost Hunter's Notebook, The Black Cat of Killikee, I've heard that one before too, Through a Glass Darkly, and finally, and about the author, etc. So this one looks really cool and has got photographs in it of the places and that as well. And look how creepy that looks. Seriously, so good. I love anything like this. I was so excited getting these books. Honestly, I thought, my God, Geraldine probably thought she's mad. Actually, she was lovely, but I was like so excited that the books I'd gone there to get, I was able to get them all. So I was like really excited to get this one, and into the bargain I've managed to get 3 signed copies as well. So that's the back. So yeah, that one looks really, really good as well. Then we've got this one, which has only just come out, and Geraldine herself is halfway through reading it, and she said to me it's really, really good. She thought it was really excellent. And this is Here Be Magic, The People and Practices of the Coven of Atho, which I had heard of, and I thought, oh wow. And I know that there's bits about Gerald Gardner and Doreen Valiente. And Doreen Valiente, I've read her biographical book about her so many times. This compelling account of eccentricity and witchcraft in the 1950s and 60s revolves around 2 principal characters, Rex Nemorensis, Charles Cardell, son of an international famous Victorian stage magician, and Ray Howard, owner of the Head of Atho, a representation of the horned god of the witches, reputedly over 2,000 years old. From the luxury of his country estate, Cardell trod his own unique path of modern witchcraft, the reality of which was effectively put on trial in a High Court libel case brought against a major newspaper following an article by 2 reporters who had hidden near Charles's sacred grove. What they witnessed would change Cardell's life forever. This book, based on new research, explores their fascinating lives and examines their writings and relationships with other witches, including Gerald Gardner and Doreen Valiente. For the first time, the writings of the Coven of Atho are reproduced. They reveal its previously hidden gems and provide a workable form of witchcraft blended with druidic influences. The glistening strands of this story are woven into the larger history of the origins of modern witchcraft in Britain. Here Be Magic. Oh, I love it. Oh my god. I'm so excited by these books. So they've actually stuck a book plate inside there that the author has signed, which is totally fine. But yeah, this one looks so cool too. It sounds really good, doesn't it, guys? This is by Melissa Symes, and Geraldine said that she knows the author of this, the author of The Horned God, and the author of the next book that I'm going to show you. So I'd actually gone in there for these 3 books that I've just showed you: Britain's Ghostly Heritage, The Horned God of the Witches, and Here Be Magic. But I wanted to try and get an Aleister Crowley book, which I did. So I went for this one, and Geraldine said it was a good starting place. So this is by Gary Lachman, who Geraldine also knows, and this is Aleister Crowley, Magic, Rock and Roll and the Wickedest Man in the World. I'm just intrigued, I'm just interested to actually read about him, and when she said this was a good starting point, I thought great. I'm still at the price on the back's $14.99. So this tells you a little bit here. This commanding study of the occult's great beast traces the arc of Aleister Crowley's complex and controversial career and his impact on today's culture. It says here on this part, Gary Lachman's Aleister Crowley is more than just a biography of this compelling and controversial figure. It is also a portrait of Crowley's unparalleled influence on modern pop culture and a roadmap to the complexities and contradictions of the man himself. Historically, Crowley resists simple black and white judgment. Contrary to tabloid caricatures, Crowley was not exactly the wickedest man in the world, but nor was he the Dionysian hero depicted in some precincts of the current culture. Rather, Crowley was a bold and profoundly flawed experimenter, a man with an overwhelming ego and a charismatic pull on those around him, and a distinctive and diverse artist, individualist and aesthete. So I think this, like Geraldine said, is a good start off point for me. So yeah, I'm glad to have this. And you know, I know that some people would say these books I could have probably got cheaper on Amazon or whatever, but I do like to support the individual shops when I can. And sometimes Amazon's not that much cheaper for some things, and sometimes you can't even get certain things there. So I'm just really excited with my stack of books. And like I say, I didn't buy any decks, but I went there purely to get books, so I'm glad that I didn't get tempted. I did look at the decks, but I resisted because I knew I wanted these, and I was just so happy to get them. So you can imagine these were really heavy to like carry around London. And then Vincent added to the weight because he gave me this big candle, Moment of Zen it's called, because he said, I know you really like candles and I wanted to get you something, and it was really lovely of him. So yeah, I had a really nice time, and we're going to meet up again soon in the next month or two, so that will be really nice. So that will probably be another trip to Atlantis. Very often I'll go to Watkins as well, but I didn't this time because I specifically wanted to go to Atlantis, and also it wasn't far from where I was meeting Vincent at Tottenham Court Road, so it was perfect really. So yeah, so that's my little book haul, guys. I hope you like seeing these, and maybe some of you might like to read these books yourself. Maybe, you know, you might try to find these books yourself. You might be interested. So yeah, and what I'm planning to do, because I've said that I'm going to do this and I haven't yet, but I will, is when I've read each one to do an actual review of the book. So I think that will be a good thing to do as well. So yeah, so I hope everyone's doing well, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.